It's an unavoidable fact in local TV news these days. Sports has fallen down the food chain. Airtime has been cut and resources are often hard to come by. So you have to be smart with what you're given. And at WBFF, we do just that. 2017 dawned in depressing fashion. The Baltimore Ravens, who had high hopes going in, stumbled down the stretch and lost their final 2 games to finish out a disappointing season at 8-8.
It's disappointing. I don't know what else to say besides that. You know, disappointment is disappointment, and you know, we had it right there.
The Ravens knew they had to get better defensively, so they got out their wallet and signed free agent safety Tony Jefferson to a big new contract. He discussed that in our studio.
I prided myself on being a hard-nosed defensive guy, and I know I've just felt like, you know, I fit into this defense really well. And just going through the plays that we're doing in football school and getting into OTAs now, I can't explain how excited I am, you know, just picturing myself in these opportunities.
And when the draft rolled around, they also went for defense, using their first pick on a cornerback, Marlon Humphrey of Alabama.
It's the biggest thing for me. Just I can only be the player I want to be, and that comes from hard work and dedication. Get that phone call, you know, kind of all the hard work you've put in all your life has finally paid off. It's definitely a feeling you can't really describe.
With the Ravens through for the year, our attention turned to the squared circle and a 20-year-old boxer named Gervonta Tank Davis, who won the IBF junior lightweight title. 4 days later, he sat down with R. Morgan Adsit.
Me growing up rough, you know, and put my time into boxing, you know, and just traveling. So once I traveled, you know, I seen that it was bigger than Baltimore, you know. It's more things, it's more bigger things that, you know, I want my mother to have, my grandmother to have, you know, my coach, my team, and myself to have. So I put my all into boxing.
From there, the Orioles gathered in Florida for spring training, and that, of course, leads to one of the best days on the Baltimore sporting calendar, opening day at Camden Yards. And as usual, our coverage was wall-to-wall.
A walk-off in the 11th inning between the Blue Jays and Orioles. Very similar to last season, but this go-around it works in the O's favor, and closer Zach Britton was used. He pitched 2 innings when the game was tied. Britton said during his game today he wasn't thinking about last year's wild card exit and not being used, but he did call it ironic.
Once the Orioles get going, it's time for our other big springtime story, the running of the Preakness Stakes, the middle jewel of horse racing's Triple Crown at Pimlico. It's kind of unusual to have a Triple Crown race in your backyard, so we take advantage of the opportunity. In 2017, cloud computing ended the Triple Crown dreams of Kentucky Derby champion Always Dreaming.
Luckily, I have outstanding owners that are just, you know, follow what I recommend, and we had a plan and it worked. What a historic race. I have a lot of respect for Pimlico, the history of this race, and I just feel so lucky that I had everything in place today to be part of it.
As the summer wore on, Baltimore's thoughts turned yet again to the purple and black as the Ravens opened training camp. The season began with back-to-back victories over the Bengals and the Browns, respectively, but then in week 3, the wheels fell off. Making their first trip to London, the Ravens were blown out by Jacksonville, but it was what happened before the game that drew all the attention. The Ravens took a knee during the national anthem, and despite a lot of public outrage, they repeated it the next week before the game against Pittsburgh here in Baltimore.
I'm not going to sit up here every day, every week, talk about what guys are going to do, what we're going to do. It'll be the last time I talk about it because ultimately I have a job to do, and that's to play my best and have this team ready to play on Sundays.
To be totally honest with you, you know, I'm not going to get into it because once you get into it, you got to get into it. And, you know, we got to get back to playing football.
From there, things settled down, but yet again, the Ravens would disappoint their fans, finishing 9-7 and missing the playoffs for the 3rd straight year. Heading into this evening's game, the path was clear. All the Ravens had to do was win and get in the playoffs. That didn't happen.
I want this team in the playoffs. I want this team in the playoffs for the team, for the players, because of what they've done this year, where they've come, the adversity they've overcome, what they've dealt with, backs against the wall, fighting, you know, to win week after week when they had to win. I'm just disappointed we didn't get this win.
And then before the end of 2017, one of our more ambitious yearly projects, we televised Maryland State Championship football games in all 4 high school classifications.
Here's Milford Mill, and there's a handoff virtually the same play.
straight up the field, and touchdown, Milford Mill, Troy Scott. And while we cover the big stories, we don't forget the small ones. We're very proud of the feature stories we bring to our viewers. Case in point, 2 basketball coaches at an area college who have served for a combined 60 years.
I can remember the first 2 games, too. They were losses.
When I look back over the years, I do realize the passage of time. But on other days, it's just still so much fun.
I've been really blessed to have been able to coach.
Over the years, we've developed such a great working relationship, and it's a big family affair here.
And while we're on the subject, we also told the story of a Maryland legend who led the Terps to a national championship and is now starting over as a Division I head coach.
It's going to take time. It's not going to happen overnight. We have 9 newcomers, which is a lot. But I think they enjoy our brand of basketball. I think that's where it starts. We're going to play up tempo. You know, we're going to get in your face defensively. For me to go out and be able to give back to these young men and help them prepare for something bigger than basketball is my main objective.
And we're also quite proud of our Prep Player of the Week award. Over 26 years, winners include Michael Phelps, Carmelo Anthony, and 2 members of the 2017 Ravens, running back Terrence West and receiver Michael Campanero. Things have changed a lot in local sports coverage, but one thing remains the same. We cover our area with passion and great enthusiasm, as we always have and always will.